It didn't take much to excite the neighbours. Only a little feature in the Times accompanying a photograph of my painting, the winner of an art contest put on by the Royal British Legion. 4 years on, there were still plenty of funds needing to be raised for veterans of the Great War. My painting had received first prize. I delighted in the opportunity to parade the crimson ribbon before my family. But the true victory was having my name in print. It was my name shortened, but no matter. Everyone who saw the feature would think Bertie Preston a man. Or so I hoped, for who would commission a painting from an unknown female artist? Our neighbour Mrs. Lem would, and after seeing the article, did. My very first. On a Tuesday afternoon, I completed the portrait of her Yorkshire Terrier, Duchess, and accepted annuity of 4 shillings and sixpence. The amount made no difference to me. I was only pleased to be paid for my work at last. It was only 4 shillings and sixpence, but it was 4 shillings and sixpence closer to a room in London and a life of my own. Unmarried at 28, one might resolve to consider oneself a sad and lonely spinster. Only I wasn't sad, or lonely. I rather enjoyed an empty room with an easel in it. After leaving Mrs. Lem's house, I used my earnings to buy a bunch of peonies. It was while I was out that the Earl's letter arrived. Our maid Jane didn't come to the door, so I set down my easel, hung my cloche on the rack, and went through to the parlour, where I was accosted by the odour of wood glue. My father had lately taken the hobby of building model boats, which he then sailed on the local pond of an afternoon. Now he sat at a table once reserved for games of bridge, painting tiny strokes on his toy boat's hull. Painting my father, who, as a retired banker, was a man of numbers and not creativity. I never knew my parents to engage in the arts, which was why I'd been under their scorn since adolescence for lacking focus on anything apart from painting. Mother came through from the kitchen, where she was surely bullying our cook about the state of dinner. Neither of them had noticed my arrival, so I announced, "Peonies," and held the bunch in Mother's direction. "Won't they be lovely?" Her mouth was permanently downturned, but the creases deepened at the sight of the flowers. "Oh, Bertie, you know your father's hay fever is the devil in June. Do put them outdoors." Father peered over wire spectacles balanced on the end of his nose. No bother to me, surely." "I'll not have you bedridden over a few measly blooms. Please, Bertie?" On cue, Father sneezed. I sent my eyes skyward and trudged back to the foyer, swung the door open, and tossed the flower bunch, which I'd spent a hard-earned penny on, to the front path. How remarkable the glue odour should have no effect whatsoever on Father's lungs. Back in the parlour, Mother leaned over his shoulder, watching him tinker. "How does Mrs. Lem do, Bertie?" "Well," I answered. "Charming as always. I had a lovely time." I shrank to the window seat and pinched a piece of my newly chopped bob. A smudge of paint clung to my thumb, the rusty shade of a terrier's whiskers. "So good of her to have you, wasn't it? She knows how much you enjoy doing your paintings." Here, Mother implied I wasn't an artist at all, but a hobbyist like my father. Mrs. Flynn called by earlier. She'd seen the Times and wanted to have a look at the prize painting. You remember her boy John was killed on the Somme? Poor lamb burst into tears. My painting, entitled Something for the Pain, had begun as a sketch I'd done whilst serving in the Voluntary Aid Detachment, stationed near the Western Front. It captured a nursing sister in her grey uniform and veil, lending her strength to a soldier patient outside a tented ward. They'd been chatting about lice. "Ever hold a fag to one and heard them pop in, sister?" And hadn't known I was drawing them.